Hey everybody, you're watching the AFTERBUZZ TV After Show for Coupled, Season 1, Episode 8, and we've got Ben and Dom in studio tonight. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Was that my chair?
What?
Was that my chair?
Yeah, that was some screechy chair you got going on over there.
I thought you said something.
No. I'm gonna have to sit still the whole show.
I had one show where my seat that was broken and it kept sinking, like no matter how many times. So like you watch the show
Just
and
gonna-
I'm like, just the whole show.
That was really an epic engine.
This is,
I know.
You can also
It's
stand.
a little bit more of a side-to-side motion.
guys, we got promoted to Studio 4.
This is a big deal.
I knew this looked nicer.
Right?
And you could have Dom and I here.
Well, we told them, we were like, we have Ben and Dom here. Like, we gotta give them our best stuff.
That's
Oh, you guys are too kind.
Oh my
and
goodness.
we came
Dom
here
was
to
gonna-
bring it.
Yes.
Right. I mean,
You're getting
First guy in the house.
oh no, you are the first
a
guy.
man right there.
And I mean, I'm just gonna throw this out there, ladies. I apologize if you never get the chance. He's better looking in person.
Oh,
Oh, hello, hello. Well,
doesn't do
obviously, you
justice.
guys, we are
doesn't.
very excited to be back. We're finally back from our 2-week hiatus,
I
and that
know.
felt longer than ever, and I miss you
Yeah.
guys so much.
Yes.
And I'm so glad because tonight we have in studio Dominique Price.
Hello.
Hello. Feel free to give your social media so people can find
Yes, you guys should all follow me at Dominique P_ESQ.
Yes.
Esquire.
And then we've also got our
Esquire.
first gentleman guest in the building tonight,
hello,
Ben
hello,
Rosenfield.
hello, ladies and gentlemen.
The space.
And the crowd goes
You can
on.
find me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at BENRSNFLD.
Spelled it for the people.
There we go.
Yes,
Damn,
now you can
drops
find him
mic.
for sure.
Done.
Well, you guys, we are back in action. I'm your host, Samantha Benitz. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz, and I'm joined by Josh Rodriguez,
Hey guys, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_.
Courtney Henderson,
And naturally at Cohen, COUHEN on Instagram and Twitter.
and Michael Clouse.
Follow me on Instagram at TheOnlyMC, on Twitter at Michael Clouse TV. Snapchat is on there. I had this beautiful Snapchat of this puppy I saw today, and anytime I see a dog, you're gonna find it on Snapchat.
Oh,
Doesn't matter.
we need that.
How
We
big,
do.
how
Yeah.
A dog.
And what
You
kind
wanna
of
see
dog
some
was
dog
it?
Snap. It was a little pit bull puppy.
Aw.
It was so adorable. I'm sorry. I was just walking in K-Town eating. I just eating lunch, and it was on the
That's
side of the road.
Koreatown.
Wow.
It was totally K-Town.
Totally.
Sorry, I
It
guess
was
I
adorable.
All the cool kids say K-Town.
Well, we'll
Right.
get
I'm
back
not
to
cool.
I just moved to K-Town. I didn't know that was a thing.
And I just ate at a restaurant called Toe Bang last night.
K-Town will
In
represent.
K-Town.
So it is so relevant, obviously. So clearly we're back in action. We're talking about episode 8 tonight, and we'll kind of get you up to speed of the couples we have so far. We've got Alex and Lindsay. What was Taylor and Lisa became Lisa and Ben. We've got Brandon and Titi. Kristen and Jeffrey were once an item, but that kind of changes tonight, and we'll get into that. And of course, we've got Tyler and Alicia, and another new couple that we'll also address a little bit later with Alex. So, how did you guys feel about this episode, given that we had a 2-week hiatus? Were you expecting it to be this crazy?
Yeah, I was expecting it to be this crazy.
Right?
I mean,
you kind of have
Alicia and
to.
Alex kind of got into it last episode, so you know there'd be some type of fallout.
Yeah. I mean, people were pretty heated about it. I saw in the YouTube comments and everywhere, people were they had their sides, and they were kind of sticking to it. So, how do you guys weigh in on that conflict between Alicia?
Yeah, are you
Alex.
Team Alex or Team Alicia?
I'm team love.
Yeah, see,
That's
you
the
can
best
be that.
answer. That is the best
There are
answer.
people dying in the world. I can't pick teams. It's
lawyer
really
and a
irrelevant.
politician.
You know you only have one answer now. That you throw out that like
Tough one.
people
Well, you
are
know what,
dying in the world.
Right?
You can't pick a team after she says that.
Well, you know, I love Alex as a person. Obviously, she's very entertaining, right?
Yes, of course.
But I think in the instance of both of them going after a guy, I think Alicia. I guess I'm Team Alicia for Tyler.
Ooh,
Yeah?
does that make 3 or 4 against 1?
Are you still Team Alex after
Absolutely.
watching this?
Listen, I'm not saying Alex
Has it
is.
changed at all?
No, my whole thing with being Team Alex was that I just don't like everything she says to Alicia about Alicia. I feel is true, not in the sense that Alicia has a bad character or anything like that. I just think Alicia's owning up to her intentions of why she called out Alex in front of Tyler. I feel like that was self-serving. I feel like it was bullying. Not that I think Alicia is a bully. I like her as a person. I just think in that moment of time, she was bullying Alex. That's all.
I don't think you were the only one who thought she was.
No, absolutely not.
No, a lot of people did.
That was a
And
reference.
then she,
That was a smooth segue right
then-
there.
Segue.
But then on top of that, she plays it. I just want to add on top of that, she plays it kind of like, oh, I was trying to help you out. You weren't trying to help her out.
Yeah, but I think Alicia was calling her out, right? Because she
Yes.
listens to her all the time, and
Right.
she was a shoulder that that Alex cried on
Yeah.
quite a bit.
And I'm
And
not
now
saying-
when they're going against each other,
Right.
she's not even giving Alicia a chance.
Right.
Okay, and I can
because-
understand that. I can completely understand
And
that.
that's
And I
where-
could understand where Alicia's coming from, where she's like, I actually fall in love.
I'm just gonna sit and
Sorry,
listen.
continue.
Right?
You guys were both talking at the same time.
I just want to get my point across because I got ripped on social media. I got absolutely destroyed.
He has to defend his stand.
By Alex's people?
Yes.
Oh, they're
you
tried.
cannot say
They're
anything
tried.
against Alex's people. They come out hard.
Out of the way.
So do Alicia.
Trust me.
No,
Loyal following.
he was Team
Loyal
Alex, so
following.
Alicia's people went on him.
Oh,
yeah.
I got attacked by Alex's people.
Alex's
It's
people.
okay.
I mean, I feel like what Alex did was also self-serving by kind of saying like, I like him so much,
Yeah.
so you know, kind of
Right.
trying to get her to back off. But I mean,
And I think-
I kind of spoke my piece on it
No,
last
I can
week.
understand that.
I really want, after I say this, I really want to get your opinion. Because obviously this was the focal point of the beginning, the whole segment.
Right.
But I
Right.
think tonight showed that, Alex got over Tyler really quickly.
Right.
After he said that one bad comment. And that's what I think is that it's only one bad comment away from her completely changing.
Which I
So
think was
that is
a
why
lot of
I'm
people's
Team Alicia.
point.
Well, it's
I
also
see.
Alicia's point, too. To be fair to Alicia, that was a point that she was making to Alex. Like, listen, you fall in love and quickly and you go from
Exactly.
guy to guy. And I
And
understand
that's
yeah.
why it actually strengthened me for Team Alicia tonight. Because it was
Okay.
like, she switched one comment. And
Right.
it was like, oh, well, he never talked to me like that before. I
Now,
don't think I like how he does that.
I mean, it is reality TV. That's what we saw.
That is
Yeah.
true.
I mean, there could have been a lot of comments. You know what
wait,
I'm saying?
Whoa. There's stuff that goes on behind the scenes of reality television.
But
that we don't
actually, in
see.
this instance, I think it was a good representation.
Okay.
And fair enough.
So, and that's why we have you.
What do we got? Let's hear it. You're watching this.
She looks
You're
tight-lipped.
seeing what is going on.
Come on, Dom. Have my back, Dom. Let's go.
You did mention in
need
the
some help.
episode
Don't bully
after you were disappointed.
I said it on the episode and I'll say it now. I'm not going to take sides, but
We're laughing at
You
Ben.
gotta take
No,
a side.
he's
You just
a
got
weirdo. I don't have to take sides. I think wrong is wrong. I think some of the things that Alex did was straight out wrong. I think a lot of the stuff that Alex did, she wasn't willing to stand up and do herself. We see that tonight with her, between her and Kristen. She wasn't worried about Kristen's feelings, but she wants everybody to worry about hers. Alicia is throwing backhanded comments, and she's pissed when it happens to her. Like, my thing is this: be upset on both ends of the coin. If you can't do
Consistent.
that, like, shut up. Like, just
That's a good
mum
point.
the word.
This is
I
what
think
I'm
this is where
looking
people
for. She
say
is the most
preach.
real person
That-
on
Yes.
Couple.
And yeah, exactly.
Hands down, the most real person on
And I don't
Couple.
think I would have had a problem with Alicia. She was like, yeah,
What
I did that.
about
I called
the
you.
realest girl
I called you
love
on your
me?
Like, I called you out.
Girl,
you know,
I
am
love
one. This is a
her.
competition. But she didn't do that. That's just my thing. She's kind of playing like, oh, I try to do it for you. You didn't try
Well,
to do it for her.
to come to Alicia's defense, I truly believe that that's what she thought she was doing.
Okay.
She thought that she was having her back and she was putting
Okay.
these things out there. But here's the thing: if I'm talking to you in a place of hurt, but I'm still trying to compliment you, it's going to sound shady.
Okay.
Right.
And I
Yeah, I
think
can see
that's
that.
what that
I
was.
totally agree. I mean,
can see
Alicia
that.
reached out and tried to talk to her anyways, but she could have ignored her the whole night because Alex wasn't even giving her any eye contact.
Right.
And then she decided, you know what, I'm going to go handle this myself and take it up with her. And you can just tell Alex was like, "Aw." But, you know, she did go through with the conversation and both of them kind of got their words out. But then again, seeing the way she perceived her comments as backhanded compliments, I was like, well, are these two actually going to be cool down the road, or is it
No.
going to be? Yeah, it seems like.
By the way,
was
on our live chat, we got back to back totally agree, Dom.
Look
So-
at that,
Because I'm right.
Everyone is team
dominating.
Dom
Dom.
preaching. She just preaching.
That's what I
She
do.
just, yeah, you follow her on Twitter. You're gonna get some great lawyer advice.
Twitter
and
was
some
not my
great-
friend today.
Great reel.
Well, Alex tweeted something about like what's happening in the world right now, and
Yeah.
it threw me for a loop. And if you know me, you know I'm gonna say something if something offends me,
Right.
and I did. And it was like a lot of backpedaling.
Did you get into a fight with Alex or something?
I wouldn't say fight, but I
Debate.
told her what she said sounded dumb.
Okay.
A verbal altercation to say.
It wasn't verbal.
She's the realist.
She spoke her opinion. You followed up with yours.
Isn't that,
There is
see,
nothing
here's my
wrong
thing.
with that.
Isn't that what life should be about? Like,
Right.
if we don't have
I
to
think
agree,
so.
but I should respect whatever you have to say, and you have to respect what I have to say, and we can go
Right.
our separate ways. That's what having an adult conversation looks like.
Right.
A lot of the people that we've seen in tonight's episode could not necessarily do that. I'll teach a class.
Oh my gosh, would you?
Follow me on Twitter. I'll teach a class next episode.
Mondays at 7, we will have a new show called Dom's Advice.
Let's do it.
I would love that, honestly. Yes,
Okay,
please.
we'll put that into the works.
Let's do it.
But back to tonight's episode.
Wait. Don't start that until you can use Ben's app.
Oh, look at the plug.
Well
Hero.
done. Well done.
Out
Yeah.
very soon.
I just learned about it a little bit more. We kind of got to pick at him a little bit and get some insight. So
Yeah,
I want to hear a little bit more because
Yeah,
that really is a good application, and a lot of our listeners would have.
Yeah, we're
listened to.
launching in LA very soon. It's an app that allows anyone with a skill to make money on the side,
I'm all about
right?
it.
And anyone to find someone they need or a specialist they need right now. So yeah, Hero's coming out.
Don't they already
soon.
have that? It's called Tinder. People with skills.
Oh.
Yeah, but you don't make money.
Yeah, you don't. Not
not
everyone
getting
makes money. Everyone makes money on Hero. I appreciate the plug.
Sounds like prostitution.
I mean, I'm grateful because it's something hopefully I'll be able to make some money on the side doing something. I
Legal?
feel like I'm backpedaling now.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's
But
anyone.
also, it gave us the opportunity to have you in studio because that's why you're in town.
That's absolutely right, and
So-
I appreciate it immensely.
Absolutely. Do you like in LA, by the way?
I
here
love
for the
LA.
couple months?
I'm looking for a more permanent situation in LA. Yeah, I really do like it out here.
It's great.
Wow.
The traffic hasn't deterred him yet.
No.
I know.
How long have you been in town?
Since end of May.
Okay, so long
months?
like it could have deterred him by now.
Yeah.
He's still hanging in there.
I love it. I mean, it's like a beautiful day every day. And like
yes.
I feel like I'm getting a lot of work done. I feel like this is the best market for the app too.
It
Like,
is.
Right.
Absolutely.
Everyone here has some type of side hustle.
Or like
Yeah.
4 seriously.
Yeah, everyone's an actor and a graphic designer or a
Right.
trainer and a nutritionist.
Entrepreneur.
No, it's funny. I meet people and I tell them what I do, and they're like, "Oh my God, I need you." And I'm
See?
like,
That's like every guy you meet though.
Yes, in fact.
So they can't confuse those.
very true.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the episode tonight. We see Lisa and Ben getting hot and heavy to start off the episode, so things seem to be going pretty well for you two still.
Yes, so we're still very close, and
Oh, they're very close. I went on vacation with these two, and
Wow.
We did.
They seem like a fun
they
couple.
take ventures to do things in the woods.
Yes, we do. Thank you for giving it all away. I have some semblance of a private life, I think, even though I was on a reality show.
Not anymore.
Ben, quick question, because when you ventured to Lisa after being with Michelle, I was kind of like, I don't think Ben really is feeling Lisa. So can you like?
Yeah, we
Oh,
didn't.
you want the
not
backstory?
in the beginning.
But like,
We
It
just
seemed
wanted
like
to
you wanted to
transition.
stay on the island.
Refresher.
yeah.
Okay.
All of us talk at once.
Because I said it on the show, and I want to get your side.
All
of it.
right, so I have to backpedal a little bit as well. So
Yeah.
when I was with Michelle, it felt like I was more on a vacation with friends.
Okay.
Right? I wasn't there to find love, and because I didn't feel like, as much as it's a reality show, and we were only there for a very short amount of time. Like Michelle and I weren't jiving at all. Okay, and we were both trying to at some times, and the other times we weren't. But there wasn't ever a real connection there. And with Lisa, what they didn't represent is that I really liked Taylor. Like, and I know there's not one part of the whole show that shows anything.
that.
Shows that, and I think that they depicted Taylor like a lot worse to show why Lisa didn't go with them. But
Yeah.
in all reality, the whole show in the beginning for me was me hanging out with Lisa and Taylor, and just kind of we were like a threesome.
Yeah.
Like we
that
changed the name
a
to
coined word?
we were gonna change the name to Trupled.
Oh my gosh.
Right? So it's like we were all hanging out.
I like
we're all-
threesome better.
And we're all having a great time together. And it kind of just developed. And in all reality, when we were in the ocean, I wasn't expecting Lisa to be so like handsy.
Yeah.
Of course.
And because I was cooking food with Taylor. Like we were all cooking food together, and Michelle was kind of sitting on the beach after getting seasick, and you know she was like kind of actually being mean, and I didn't want to really hang out. I couldn't manage it at that moment in time, and so I was hanging out with Taylor and Michelle, and then Michelle asked me to go in the water, and at the time, like I didn't realize what was going on that everyone else saw.
Okay. Oh, you were too close to it.
I mean, we seen it from the bungalow, so I don't know how we didn't see it.
Right. You know, so you know, at that point in time, I was still, you know, I wasn't thinking of, I didn't want to take Tyler's girl away from him.
Right.
Right? Or Taylor.
I'm just staring at you like, are you gonna catch it?
Yeah. I didn't want to take Taylor's girl away from it, and they were having such a good time too. But Lisa was making like more and more advances.
We saw.
And you know what? I was still attracted to Lisa.
Right.
I mean, I was. Yeah. I just didn't want to disrespect Taylor.
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
In hindsight, I can see that where you're just kind of like playing it cool and not really.
Well, right. I mean, and I was willing to like go home if Taylor had a connection with her.
Right.
Right. And so, you know, everyone kind of forgets that. Like in the end, Michelle was like, remembered that I fell in love with my like ex-boyfriend, that father Ethan. And I said to her, like, if I did anything to help Ethan get her father back, I was like, I did more on this show than I could have ever believed I would have encountered. Yeah. And so when it all kind of went down, it was actually a really strange situation and awkward because we were all in there was four of us. There was Michelle, Taylor, Lisa, and I, and we were like talking, and then Michelle was telling Lisa how she's not a good girlfriend, and Taylor's like, what is going on here? You've known each other for like 15 minutes. Like, all right, this is happening. Okay, we don't have a connection. Let's figure out what the next steps are, right? And then that's kind of when Taylor and I had a real conversation down at the beach. You know, I brought down some tequila, and I was ready.
Always a good first step.
I was ready then and there to say, okay, man, this is done. Like, if you have any poems about me staying or me wanting to be with Lisa, then tell me, because
You'll go home.
That was such a good synopsis.
It really was. It was very detailed. Right? I feel like I was there.
Right? Did you feel like in watching that scene or, you know, that episode back that it was represented correctly then? As far as you going down and...
No, I think they represented Michelle very nicely, and I don't think Michelle is very nice.
What? Shots fired.
Wow.
And
everybody is entitled to their own
what did I say? Everybody has their own opinion.
I'm a Michelle fan.
Not my business.
But
whatever.
You know,
this girl knows.
So I everyone finds their love, and so to kind of segue this forward, thank God I met Lisa, because then it felt like why I was there.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yes.
It felt like the journey to what the whole purpose of the show was about started then. Right, because we, like Lisa and I, immediately connected. Like, even while Taylor was still there, and Taylor could see it too, and he appreciated it. And you know, to this day, Taylor's one of my closest friends in Los Angeles. He helped me find my place here. I'm living with one of his close friends, right? So, like, Taylor and I hang out all the time. He's one of the best guys I know out here, and like I couldn't have been happier about
it. He gave you a romance and a bromance.
That's right.
He seems like a good guy. Like, I would think he would probably feel the same way, where it's like, look, if I was the one thing between two people that are meant to like have this connection and go on this journey, like it's like me backing away allows them to have that. Like, what better purpose to come and let that happen versus like get in the way.
You got some newfound respect on the live chat to hearing this how it played out, obviously. So.
They're glad to hear it. And so, Dom, you also chose to back away when you had your connection with Amari, which kind of fizzled. Exactly. You rolled out, basically. Yeah. So tell us your side of the story, because we kind of watched it play out on TV, but we all were on your side.
Yeah. How was that represented?
So,
it wasn't represented, I think, at all, like, in what really happened. Like, at all.
Like, was it you playing yourself?
No, I don't even know who she was. No, but in all seriousness, I think Amari and I just weren't on the same page from the very beginning. But one thing I will say is that I came into Coupled kind of just feeling like I'm always going to be me. I'm not going to stay here or be with someone to remain on TV.
Right.
Like, I can come and take myself on vacation if I want to be in Anguilla or to be in this mansion. Like, it's not that serious for me. So when I realized that we weren't on the same page, or when because at the end of the day, like, I left because I was uncomfortable. And I think if you've been watching from episode 1, when Amari and I got to the villas, in episode 2, I looked in pain. Like, everyone's like, why weren't you laughing? Why weren't you cheering? Because if you're not comfortable, it's kind of hard to fake it, which I'm never going to do.
Right.
And, engage.
Yeah, like it.
When, what you guys also didn't see was that the very first night that I moved into the villas, I slept on the couch. Because the gentleman that I was with didn't want to kind of...
Cuddle.
That's a colorful word, so we'll use that. And no, like, bashing on him, because I think he's a really great guy. Just not my guy.
Right.
And I was okay with going back to the bungalows and, being a voice of reason to the girls. And if another great guy came along, that would have been awesome. But once I got back to the bungalows, I was just there to, sip tequila and read, honestly.
I really respected
Did
you.
you read or breed?
I was going to say, it sounded like breed, but I had a feeling you meant read.
Oh, did I? Okay,
Yeah,
my bad.
some people think I came to breed.
Or that too, but
And
that didn't
tequila.
happen.
Is that like a segue to an announcement of any kind?
I hope not. That was not.
Not on mine.
You're just kidding.
Oh my
Oh,
So
goodness.
you kind of talked about going on the show. I mean, how did you two kind of end up on a reality show about love and dating?
Yeah. So I think I say this as the show begins to air. In the first episode, I decided to do the show because I've always been nose down and really serious about my career, and I worked for a professional sports team for a while, and so I was always surrounded by these guys that I, didn't necessarily want to date, and so
Which team?
I worked for the Portland Trail Blazers.
Hey! Okay, sorry. I had to know.
It's okay. It's okay.
And you are the catch of 2016.
And I am the catch of 2016, but
that has to be on TV, right?
it was really hard to date. And I had just gotten the process of starting my own practice as an entertainment attorney, and so I was in this really cool gap period, getting ready to move to LA. And so when it was presented to me, I was like, no.
How did they find you? I mean,
yeah.
okay.
So I also used to compete in pageants, which was really funny because that was not I'm not a pageant girl. I'm not a pageant
You were,
girl.
actually.
Well, I think there's a difference. There's a difference
change.
between participating in a pageant and
Which
being
I
a pageant
did.
girl, right?
I'm not a pageant girl either. I was kind of glad I didn't win. I was like, if I win, then this is not.
So why were you even in it if you didn't want to win?
Because I met a girl
Not
that had
in
won
it
and had a
to win
great experience, and she kind of talked me into it.
That
She
sounds
pageanted
that
me.
actually sounds like how I got on the show.
Right.
That exact experience got me on a reality show.
Right. So I was Miss Oregon, and I went to Miss United States, and one of the judges did the casting, and so she reached out and asked me if I would do it, and I was like, no.
Thank you kindly.
Right. And then she came back to me and was like, I really want you to understand what the premise of the show is about. And so when she explained that it was going to be about women kind of taking back the dating scene, and it not being about 20 girls
Tinder.
to one guy. I was all for it, it wasn't going to be like The Bachelor.
I thought you were gonna say I still said no, and then
See,
I said no 2 times, and then I was like, okay. And so I
'Cause timing and
randomly
everything worked
decided,
out.
it all worked out.
and it was about 5 weeks. So
5-week paid vacation, and I was fed. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually
Hey,
thought
and
I
the
was
drink.
going to be
Not
on
too
The
shabby.
Bachelor.
That's
Yeah, I thought this was The Bachelor.
No. Wouldn't have done it. I would have ran.
Oh. And what about you, Ben?
yeah.
So I had a friend that actually met the love of her life on a reality show.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Really?
she was helping cast the show.
The one
No.
success story.
Yeah, well, I mean, she
There's
just
only
she
one.
just had a baby.
And that is hard to argue then.
Right.
I'm not gonna do it. I won't find love.
You know
When
what?
that's- you got the
You know
one.
what? I had no interest in one being famous
Right.
for anything,
Right,
right? Like
right.
I didn't want to be famous. And the second thing is I didn't want to be on a be known as a guy on a reality show either.
Right.
Because I was just doing too many things and it just wasn't kind of in the line of what I was working on. And after she kind of like, I don't want to say hounded. I hope you don't
You
squash
can
this,
say it.
But she kind of like pushed me pretty hard.
Yeah.
And over the course of the next 6 months, I started getting calls from the casting director, and then they flew me out to LA. And then while I was in LA, I was like filming. One of the producers put their arm on my shoulder, and were like, "Men are gonna want to be you, and all the girls are want to be."
I got that same line.
Oh, and I got like, I got like.
Stars in the eyes.
I know, I got like totally LA, right?
You did.
Happens to the best of us.
So-
What year were you Miss Oregon, by the way?
2015.
2015.
Wow. Big
Nice.
deal.
Me too.
I know.
Oh,
What?
No.
No.
Mr. Oregon.
Right.
Mr. and Mrs. Oregon and Buzz TV.
That would've been-
Who would've thought?
So cute.
I feel like we need to talk about Jeff and.
Okay, yeah,
let's
we're
get
Crazy.
there.
Can we just say for a second?
Yeah.
So, if we go back to episode 6 when Jeff came to the tiki bar, I was really kind of like, wow, he was well spoken, had great conversation, and you really felt like Jeff was there to like really meet someone. In tonight's episode, I just was. I don't know about how you guys felt, but I was like,
Total
what
fake.
are you here for?
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of shocking. Well, not so much because I saw that they weren't really agreeing with each other, Kristen and
That
Jeffrey.
part wasn't shocking.
No,
Like,
not at
we
all.
all knew that was coming.
Right.
Yeah,
tonight.
but the fact that he was willing to make the switcheroo with Alex, somebody who he hadn't chosen before.
Right.
So that to me was the part that was shocking.
Yeah, I don't know if I came into this a little bit more naive or maybe the only person, but I mean, clearly I chose to leave because I wasn't compatible with somebody, but
Right.
And then all the men were gone.
and then
No
all
more
the men
guys
were
falling
gone.
from the
There was
sky.
no more guys falling from the no, that was so sad.
Did they ever say like that like that's how it would end? Like one day
No.
they would just show up and say there's no more men?
No.
180 with.
No. Well, no. So they
another
did
one,
tell us
and
that
you know it
eventually, like, you know, we're not going to be supplying guys for the next 10 years. Like, that's not how this works. But when we started, they did say, like, you know, there technically could be enough guys here for everybody.
Right.
We met 10 guys. There were 12 girls. And
Did
I
they
mean,
mean
my
because
fault
some
that I did
people would
send one
share
of
a
the 10
guy?
home. But, you know, it didn't really work out like that,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah.
It would have been kind of weird if it did
Yeah.
work out, where like everybody just found one, and it was
think-
just great.
I think it would have been interesting, but that probably would have been
wet
like.
dream. Right? Like, seriously.
I think Mark really, like, when he first came in to meet us all, I think he really did want everyone to find love.
Of
Like, he was very
course.
passionate about that. Like, I'm doing this because I want you guys to
And that-
have a different experience.
Yeah, and I think that's why he made a point to make the show so different than any other type of dating show that's been on the air. And I mean, there's been a lot that have come through over the years. What was it, like Beauty and the Geek or Beauty and the
Yeah, that
you
was
know
one.
like
Yeah,
that.
NBC had another one.
Then there was
too.
one. I don't even think it made it through a whole season. About there was a lot. Point being, Bachelorette or Bachelor's the only like brand that has kind of
Stood the
made
test of
it.
time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
At least you didn't do Dating Naked, that other show. That would be
There's
a...
no way in hell.
You know what would be great on dating? Taylor.
Yes!
Yeah.
That would be up his boat.
there was-
Him and Lisa,
Oh my God, yes.
right?
Yeah, there was a scene at the end when Taylor left where he literally stripped down naked,
Oh.
ran around the pool, and
Lindsay
jumped in
told
back.
us.
Jumped in
Yeah.
back.
We
heard about
it
that.
was epic, and I cannot believe they didn't show the viewing public.
Aw,
It's
man.
good TV.
We need
Maybe
some
they're
of
gonna
those
save it for
behind the
like an
scenes shots.
unfiltered or no filter
I
or
hope so.
something.
Oh, that would be so good. So we did see a lot
Everyone's
more.
saying Jeff is fake, by the way, in the chat.
Yeah,
Everyone.
I wouldn't
Really?
disagree.
Well,
The
yeah.
Jeff is
Everyone
fake?
has seen right through it that it's.
I can see how people feel that way because especially the conversation that was had between Kristen and Jeffrey, and
Yeah.
she tries to sit him down outside, and he basically says, "Don't talk to me like a child, and we are not partners." So
Yeah.
that was kind of his declaration, and I felt like no matter what she said, she kind of let him know, "I'm not really feeling like you're the romantic Rico Suave that I thought you were."
Yeah.
And
Well,
he
she
kind
called
of
him out
agreed.
really hard.
She did call him out, but
Yeah.
here's my thing, and this is, I think, the thing that started the Dominique being pissed off for the rest of the night. He had the conversation with Alex about potentially would you stay here with me before he ever had a conversation with Kristen. So regardless of what Kristen said to him,
Fox
he was
didn't show
already
us that.
no.
He
He
was
they
checking
did show us that. That was
Yeah.
the sequence of how they showed
Okay,
it. That's
you're
the
right.
sequence of
I'm
how
sorry.
it happened.
You're right. You're right.
So I'm like, you were already decided with what you were going to do before Kristen ever sat down to talk to
Right.
you. So no matter what she said,
You
because
burned
I
that
think she
bridge.
made some valid points,
Right.
he was done.
Yeah, he looked
And that's a really frustrating situation.
Okay.
I mean, I lived through it with Amari. Like, when I tried to come to him and say, hey, let's figure this out, he was like, you're no fun to be around. And I'm like, well, that's not constructive.
Right.
So I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Team love.
Like, right?
Team love.
I don't know.
So that was my frustration with Jeff. Like, why are you really here?
But I think Kristen did the same thing.
How did she?
But Kristen didn't want to be with him either.
Yeah, you
Right.
can tell that.
Like
But
Kristen had no idea, and Kristen necessarily also didn't want to. I think at that one scene where they're talking, I think Kristen was like, okay, maybe I'll try a little
Yeah,
harder.
'cause
to
she
make it
kinda
work in that
commented, like-
instance.
Right.
But because the night before, I mean, being there and watching the Truth or Dare and her life, it was vindictive. It
Really?
was so vindictive. It was malicious and mean. It was meant to call him out. And if it happened to me, I would have been like, F you too.
Yeah. And I will say to the people that are kind of saying Jeff is fake. I mean, we kind of talked about it before. I kind of thought when the whole switch in Ben and Lisa, you know, like I kind of felt like, well, he just wants to stay on TV too. And then you see the next episode where you actually see Lisa and Ben together, and you're like, oh no, there actually is a connection.
Right,
like there's a reason beyond
for
TV.
For the first 5 AfterBuzzes, I think you guys hated me so much you wouldn't even say my name.
I didn't hate you. I just didn't think you liked Lisa. That was my whole thing with you.
And we don't not mention
was it.
names because we don't care or dislike. It's just
Right.
that we'll talk about whoever's like central in that episode.
Right.
You know, we just end up blabbering.
So
our
until
mouths
you
off.
were like the episode.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying, you know, next episode where we actually see more of Alex and Jeff, it's hard to really judge what connection is or isn't there. Now, it is
Can't
still
we?
kind of weird.
So no one thinks on this panel and in the chat that Jeff has any feelings for Alex.
Okay, well, I do need to address that because how do you guys feel about the fact that he brought her chocolate and flowers? Was that just kind of a narrative to make it look like a
Well, clearly he wasn't like watching our group chat because chocolate, where are the nuggets?
I know.
Like,
Bring
he
that
should
girl
have
some
brought her
nuggets.
like a platter of nuggets, and then I would have been like,
All right.
you're real. I
Yeah.
see you. You're trying.
Right. Like, you all obviously always had a little something for me because you, like, put that in your pocket.
Right.
Right.
You know, like, you're not, there's no situational awareness. I
Right.
call it SA.
I like it.
I think anyone would have felt his romance had they been with him on the.
I was saying, you're the only one that was, like, there for some of this.
And it just felt like he was trying to connect with people, and he didn't connect.
But
with
anyone?
I was gonna say.
I mean, it's hard to say.
That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, like anyone, but you never know. Like, how much do you really know about someone when you meet them for one day,
It's true.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
feelings can develop
Right.
develop over time, and maybe that's what he was feeling, and maybe he just didn't want to leave, and maybe he wanted to.
Right.
Who
You
knows
can
what
stay
he
for
was
the wrong
thinking.
reason, or
Right.
want to stay for the wrong reason
Yeah.
and actually stay for the right one.
Right. So he took
But-
the route of how can I stay and maybe
Develop a connection.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually
Right.
develop a connection.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
Right.
see that. Real quick, 30 seconds. People want to know were there any interesting dares that were not shown?
Oh
For the
yeah,
Truth or
we
Dare.
played Truth or Dare when I was at the villas and they didn't show it. And I think one of my dares was to imitate giving something.
Was it?
Fellatio.
Oh.
And I kept praying afterwards. I was like, please don't let my dad see this. Please don't let my dad see this.
Don't put this on the blue.
You said imitate. I was like, we're gonna have to make you do this. We're not gonna make you do that.
Oh my goodness.
Ben?
I don't remember. I know that Lisa was the most vulgar one out of everyone. Like,
Bless her heart for that.
You
by
guys
far,
love
you were
Lisa.
scared.
I
You're always
would say-
scared of the ones that. You
I
think
will
would
say,
be
I would say probably you and Lisa both have surprised me the most from like the beginning to the end of what we've seen so far, and then meeting you both like she from the first episode when her and Michelle kind of had their altercation. I mean, I was kind of
Team
like
Michelle.
whatever, yeah, you know, like you seem like you don't really get it, and talking to her and like seeing the episodes
Yeah,
go on, I'm like,
your personalities
oh my
are very similar.
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah.
Very.
So,
So.
I mean, but I would say my feelings for her have like switched the most. Like, I like her the most from kind of where I was at.
Well, yeah, because she's like, she really, truthfully, does not give a.
She probably
She
like
doesn't. She was on the show to have fun and to connect and to fall in love. Like, she actually was the most. In fact, in my opinion, one of the most open people to this experience.
I agree.
Yeah.
From what we've seen and from talking to her and just kind of knowing her personality, that's what I kind of felt from her. In that kind of like, I don't give a,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Ben even says Lisa is a sexy bad girl that keeps him on his toes, which I thought that was kind of cute. I'm like, yeah,
That's a compliment. That's a high
I know.
compliment.
I would take that.
Absolutely.
Somebody said
take
that.
it. And so, what did you guys also think about the fact that Tyler was asking Alex about her new relationship
Yeah,
with
that's
Jeff?
the other piece of drama right there.
What did you guys think about that? Was that kind of weird, or was
I
that
think it
just
showed
a
his age.
harmless question?
Yeah, bam.
I
he
think it
said
showed his age.
Yeah, he said it.
The fact that how he kind of didn't handle it almost with, not class, but like, almost like caring of, you should know that this girl is still into you, and how are you going to be like, oh, hey, that's great, yo, you really should work
here's
out.
a little insight on Tyler. He is a lover. He is a lover. He loves everybody. Maybe that's not translating through, but he just wants to connect.
It's translating as like he's a bro who's just trying to get with anything.
Yeah, like a player.
I'll tell you right now, at that moment in time, in his mind, he's not thinking about the future or anything else besides connecting with her in that moment in the best way possible.
All right.
Right? There was no ulterior motives that Tyler has.
I'll take your
He
word
just
for it.
doesn't
I'll take
think
your
that
word for
far
it.
in advance.
Right.
I
So
was thinking
Alex's kind of perception of what he, like, that conversation with the kind of like, yeah, like, have fun with him, but, you know, like, how do you feel about me, was a little bit on point because he just was trying to connect with her. Like, not that he was trying to be shady against Alicia.
Yeah, maybe he's just trying to
But
reconcile, like, I didn't choose you,
By the way,
but...
side note, small piece of information. Alicia, joining us again on the live chat, thank you very much.
Yes,
says,
Alicia.
this is
Alicia.
ridiculous. I told Tyler to go talk to Alex.
Okay, see,
So
there we go.
there's a reasoning behind it.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah.
She also says Tyler's a good guy, not a bro.
I saw more of that today, too. But until tonight's
I still think
episode...
it's
I said that too.
up for debate?
What they didn't show tonight is that there's a point where after, you know, Alicia tries to talk to a lot of the girls, she's like devastated and she's crying, and Tyler kind of goes to her and he's like, you know, don't be upset, like, what?
No,
We found out this week each year called
Anywho,
Dan.
I'm sorry, John. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
rude.
the spotlight.
And he kind of like went over to her and was like consoling her, but he like tough love, like, yo, like, screw what these girls like are saying to you. It's about you and me,
Right.
and that's what your focus needs to
He
be. And I
grounded
think
her again.
that's where my click went for him. I'm like, okay, he's here to like really have a good time and to be all about Alicia and blessings to the both of them.
And they had a great kissing in the rain
I
moment.
know,
Yeah, they were
he went with the
He was
cute.
he was super attracted to Alicia.
Yeah.
Like he was the whole time. He would
Yeah.
talk about Alicia all
Right.
the time and how attracted she was. She wore this like red dress one night, and he was like,
that booty though.
yeah. And then he was like,
I did not bring it up. I did not bring it up.
Okay.
And I didn't bring it up.
Right.
I didn't even bring it up last episode. But just for the record, I did not bring it up.
that red
You
dress
did
was,
not.
That red dress was a killer.
It was
And
smoking.
she knew it. And
She
good
looked
for her.
Good
Yeah.
for her. Bring it. That's
Hell
why.
yeah.
I mean, that's why she's on the show.
Right?
That is why she's
Gotta
here.
look it out.
And Alicia, your dress tonight was A+.
Oh my
once
gosh.
again. I was swooning over
At
it
first,
during the kiss in the rain.
when they were sitting on the water, I thought it was a swimsuit.
Me
And I was
too.
like, oh my gosh, I want that.
I know, like,
I was like,
give
I'm gonna have
me
to
the
ask her.
fashion
And then she stands up and it's a dress, and I would wear it more as a swimsuit because I don't have the guts that she does.
Hey, it looked darn
But
good. Well,
it's
before we
awesome.
go, you guys, we're going to get into some quick news and gossip. So that way you guys can get a little behind the scenes scoop.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love this picture. So tell me about this, Ben, because you are definitely in this bootylicious shot.
Oh yeah, I got.
Hey.
So we haven't talked about like Alex at all. I love that guy too.
Yeah.
So like we were all like joking about like grabbing each other's butts because the picture before this was all the girls grabbing each other's butts.
And I guess Brandon said he's not playing.
Brandon's like, yeah, I don't, he's too cool. It's like I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. Neither Jeff wasn't into it. Tyler would have totally. He would have gone a lot of tush on that. But yeah, that's
Like
where that.
chicken.
Jeff looks majorly into it. He's giving me a back glance.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a little much.
Well,
I'm gonna say it.
oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for filling me in. I saw that picture and I was like, this is pretty much gold. I'm going to have to definitely share this one. And then we're going to talk about Dominique just headed to Disneyland. And you thanked Tarisha. So,
Yeah.
how'd that go?
First time? No?
I've never been to Disneyland. I've been to Disney World probably about 10 times. I went to law school in Florida. And so she invited me, and I took my niece because it was her birthday. And I had the best day ever.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's the happiest
Yeah.
place on earth.
Yeah.
Which location was that? The Orlando?
This is in Anaheim. This is just
That's
Disneyland.
Cool.
Land World. Land World.
See, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I haven't been since I was a kid, but you
Yeah,
know what?
but
It was
I'm
like
excited.
an epic
Is this where
experience.
Hogwarts is?
No.
No, that's in
That's-
Orlando.
No,
No,
they don't. We have
Universal.
one here.
That's Universal.
That's Universal.
Yeah.
That's universal.
It's 10 minutes.
Somebody give me a map.
So many.
Let's go.
Six Flags
Yeah.
up north, you know.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Dominique has an awesome, inspiring Periscope, and people are kind of talking about this all over.
I love
So
Periscope.
I don't know if
I've
you
watched
can
it.
play it.
Did you watch
I've
it?
watched her
Oh, she posted a
Periscopes.
photo.
Oh, you guys missed the photo I just posted.
Aw, see, I don't know if we're able to play it, but just give us a little scoop on the kind of information that you do share on your Periscope so fans can tune
Yeah,
in.
so a lot of my Periscopes is just giving tips on how you can protect your brand, protect your intellectual property, because I think it's super,
So
super
you can be the
golden.
next Taylor Swift and make 177 million.
Yes!
year.
Are you quoting me now?
I told you I watched.
That's like exactly what I said. Yeah, so I love what I do, and I want to give the information out to the masses.
Aw, well, thank you guys so much once again for coming, and once again, give them your social media.
Are we gonna do predictions for next week, or we just?
I mean, you can, but we have like 1 minute, so wrap it up.
We have like 2. No, this is 3 minutes past. We got.
I mean, I think we have
Sa-
7 minutes.
We got 7 minutes.
Sam's sister's in labor. She needs to go.
4 minutes, and we're not going to talk about the time. What do you got?
Yes,
Sam has to
thank
go.
you.
Sam has to go.
Yeah, my
Because
little
Her sister's having a baby. We need to, like, come on.
Today.
Okay.
Okay, so my prediction is that someone slides into my DMs tonight and Dominique's married by the end of the week.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
What did you call it? Slides in?
Slides.
Slide into the
It goes
DM.
down in the
Down in the
Guys,
DMs.
I'm so uncool.
We'll get you together. We
Thank
got
you.
you.
Yo,
No, but I
guys,
am looking forward to next week more, where they seems like you go deeper almost.
with the
Yeah.
couples.
And Ben, I don't know what you cannot say, but actually, but it seems like it's the real of, hey, you're not going to be in Anguilla forever. You know,
What?
you actually have to tackle.
You
the
guys
issues.
love
It's like
Anguilla.
finally
yet.
all the couples are together, right?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
you really see us all interact and how we like actually are on this like journey.
Yeah, the
together.
bungalow girls aren't slowing them down.
Right.
Hey.
Yeah.
No more of this from the girls to the girls.
It was nice
right?
for the phones to go down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice, and so
Seemed to be a little bit of a controversy between BT and so
and,
do we see
Oh,
that?
yeah.
I
Do
think
you
that'll
see
be
We
that
have
last
to
week?
reveal, some type of reveal,
Yeah.
but we're not
it
really
just
sure
seemed
what
like
it
a
is. It's like a
controversy.
Again,
secret.
like
I
he's
said
revealing
last week I
something.
don't see it lasting, and I think he's blown up on Twitter
Really?
because I
Oh,
said-
that's right. You mentioned
yeah,
that
he's been
previously.
really just off, and so I
They
you
still
know,
okay.
I don't think it's
They
lasting.
still seem okay to me.
I think they still
I
seem
mean, I don't
pretty
know.
strong.
We'll have to see.
Look at that!
I don't
Look at that! Look
I
at
know.
that!
They know. They know.
BT is anti-coupled. The show.
Oh,
He's
I
been
mean, we
anti-coupled
totally
since
see
the
that.
day he got back to the States.
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
that's why Mike thinks that they're.
But
I know it has
just
nothing to
think-
do about him and Ashley. I
Right.
think BT had other stuff that he was kind of
Okay.
dealing with, and BT is amazing.
He seems like
He's
great
like a
guy.
really
I'm just
dope
looking
guy.
at the couple
But
relationship.
yeah, you guys have to stay tuned.
Ooh, we definitely will.
very
Now it's going to be
interesting.
all about this, and we're going to watch their storylines
Yes.
unfold. And I do want to see like how it's going to translate once they're not on this romantic island where everything is like
Yeah,
perfect, the dream world. You know?
I'm interested to see who leaves coupled.
Yes. Oh goodness. Well, we have a lot in store for us.
You're interested
so
to
once
see,
again,
you know.
I don't know. I don't
let
think she
her
knows.
say what
Teaser.
she needs to
It's a
say,
teaser.
Michael. Okay. Once again, you guys, give them your social media so they can find.
Yes, if you want more wisdom from Dom, you can get me on Dominique P_ESQ.
If you want to see some awesome places, cool guy, come find me
Yes.
at Ben RSNFLD on everything.
Everything.
He was snapping tonight in case you couldn't tell.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Live
see some
snap.
behind the scenes.
And once again, I'm your host, Samantha Benitz. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz, BENITZ. Where can they find you, Josh?
I'm Josh Rodriguez. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_.
And I'm Courtney Henderson, and you can find me at Cohen, COUHEN.
Michael Clouse, Instagram at the only MC, Twitter at Michael Clouse TV, as seen on TV, TEEVEE.
Oh my
On
gosh.
Snapchat. It was really
He
long.
goes
You
in with
can't
that.
change it. You can't change
You
it.
can't. Is that so frustrating?
But I have a real question. How do I get on AfterBuzz? This seems
we'll
like
talk.
fun.
We'll hook you up.
We'll
We'll hook you up.
You are.
We'll hook you up.
Hired.
See you guys next time.
Adios.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.